Let's get into some Detroit Lions news here. We're going to talk about an ex-Lions player that did something dirty. We're going to talk about that. Players who excelled in the preseason game, players who may not be making it. A really terrible trade idea that I'm going to shoot down really quick. Got to talk about that. And again, a player who has excelled, Mr. Vaki. Let's go. Before we get into this bad boy, subscribe to the channel at some point. Other people are going to be on here. It's just going to happen at some point. The point is not as of right now. Let's get into some Lions news and rumors really quickly right there. Let's stop this guy from speaking. Former Detroit Lion arrested for urinating on a passenger. That's Gosder Shareless. That's disgusting. That's absolutely disgusting. And that's an act that it's really difficult for me to even contemplate taking a leak on somebody. You are a very horrible person if you're going to do that. You're pretty garbage. And I know it's not crazy, oh, you beat somebody up or something, but taking a leak on somebody is dog low. Like that's horribly low. That is something that disgusting, nasty people do. And I really hope that Gosder Shareless gets what's coming to him. I think that's disgusting and pathetic as a human being to urinate on somebody. You're a disgusting human being. In the comments right now, give me a one-word reaction to Gosder Shareless being disgusting in the comments below. Okay. Let's talk about this article here. I even did it from Christian Boer. It says 6 players who must shine in Lions preseason finale. Have not read it. I'm just going to go over the players here. Doris Fountain, I 100% agree with him. I think he's hasn't made the team, in all honesty, but he has to shine, right, to even have a shot in this game. Doris Fountain, he did well in OTAs and minicamp, but again, the lights are on and nothing happens. How many times have we talked about this throughout the years? Players who excel in practice do nothing in games. He is one of those guys. James Houston. Now, he was injured. I don't even know if he's going to be in this preseason game because he was injured. He's dealing with an injury here. I pretty much feel like he's made the roster unless they trade him. Right, end of the day trade. Mr. Jeff Risdon was talking about it on his video, and I concur with him over there. Check out Detroit Lions podcast. James Houston is a guy who, rookie year, did great. Last year, injured, now injured here. I don't know if we can rely on him. I don't know. He still needs help in the run game, and that's the issue with James Houston. He's good at a pass rusher, but he's just not up there when it comes to stopping the run. That's why they've played him all over this defense. They're just going to go and throw him back up at, edge position to do some pass rush. If he plays, yeah, you got to see something for sure, right? And we're going against 2 mobile quarterbacks, Russell Wilson and, of course, Justin Fields, former Bears quarterback for the Steelers. So let's see what he can do against these mobile quarterbacks, right? See what he can do against a mobile quarterback if he plays. Remember, he is injured. Zonovan Knight. I think Zonovan Knight's made himself already on the practice squad. I don't think really what he does in this game is going to move the first 4. You're not going to beat out Sione Vaki. It's just not happening. Craig Reynolds is already number 3. For him, you'd have to make it as the practice squatter. I just don't see him making the team. They're going to go 4 running backs. Unfortunately, Zonovan Knight is not going to be there, but if he wants to be on the practice squad and there's going to be injuries throughout the year, I think it's smart for him to do. Stephen Gilmore, again, he is an individual for the practice squad. I don't see him making now the 53-man roster is too much talent right there. Kindle Vildor will be your number 5 corner, and he showed really good play in the last 2 weeks. He played in the regular season last year. So for him, this is for Stephen Gilmore to make another team's team or for the practice squad. For him, it's going to be really tough. Isaac Ukwu, he has a chance to make the roster. I think there's one edge position probably potentially left. Isaac Ukwu is one of those guys. He's shown a lot of promise so far in 2 preseason games. If he does it again, he can make a case to make this roster. And, I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for one of these young edges to make the roster. Agud or Ukwu, let's go. I agree with him. Kingsley Agwukin, he could potentially make it for the offensive line depth. I don't have it happening. There's so much talent. It's quite difficult. Practice squad, yes. He's not going to do it over. You look at the offensive line. Dan Skipper is going to make it. Colby Sorsdale is going to make it, right? Kiyuta Wusaka is going to make it. The Lions' 6th-round draft pick, he going to make it. The Lions' 4th-round draft pick, Manu, going to make it. So it's going to be difficult for him to do that. We'll see. What do you guys think? Who do you think has a chance to make the roster on this list? I think I'm going to go with Isaac Ukwu. Who's probably really the only one that I think. Doris Fountain potentially, but I think he's got to show something already, and he just hasn't in preseason. This is a terrible idea. This is a terrible trade, and it's not going to happen. Lions trading veteran receiver to the Ravens would solve a lot of problems. Yes, this is Khalif Raymond. We get Devontae Walker. They get Khalif Raymond and a 5th-round pick. I tired of the disrespect for Khalif Raymond. First off, Khalif Raymond and Jared Goff are on the same page. Khalif Raymond can't play X. I don't care about he's small. We've seen him do it multiple times. He has proven himself. He is a baller. He plays through pain. Yes, he had a severe bad ankle injury for the playoffs, and he couldn't play. Okay, but he has proved himself. He is the punt returner. He is the kick returner. We have been terrible so far in preseason. This is a bad idea. You do not trade Khalif Raymond. If you want to trade somebody else, okay. But Khalif Raymond, no. Leave him alone. And it's not going to happen, folks. Khalif Raymond's not getting traded. This is not going to be the case. Not happening. You want to go up there and you want to talk about a Donovan Peoples-Jones or somebody else, okay. Another player, I don't care. It's not happening. There's so many things wrong with this. We already have issue with the wide receiver. Why is this even in consideration? Terrible idea. Let's get to the next one here. 3 Detroit Lions players play himself off the roster in the 2nd preseason game. Again, I haven't been over this list. Super excited to go over this one. Doris Fountain, I concur. I agree here. And I was big at Doris Fountain in the offseason, OTAs, minicamp, training camp. What do I always say? You got to prove it on the field. He didn't do it. As much as I like the guy, you got to do it on the field. Jalen Calhoun. Yeah, I didn't think he was making the roster. Anyways, yeah. I don't know what else to say right there. I just don't see it. Edge James Houston, he didn't play in the game because of injury. Okay, so I'm not going to be saying this guy is worked himself off the roster because of the game last week. He was injured, and it's just one of those things. So I don't think he's played himself off the roster. I'm not saying he's a lock to make the roster or anything like that, but to say he's played off the roster already seems a little bit too early for me. See what he can do out in the field on Saturday, right? He's dealing with an injury. If he plays, we'll watch and see. I'm rooting for James Houston. Is he absolutely at the end of the roster? I agree. I 100% agree. I do. But I also agree with Jeff Risdon that he could be a trade candidate. We'll see. Maybe for a wide receiver. That makes sense. Lions, Dan Campbell on rookie Sione Vaki. You felt the growth from him. Yeah, we felt the growth. The moment that I seen him, I said this guy is a theoretic type of player. I've been saying this for a long time. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's better than theoretic type of player from what I was seeing in the preseason week 2. He's fast. He's got really soft hands, and his jukes are just outstanding. really outstanding. The guy's stop and go is so fast. He literally making ankles break on every play. It's unbelievable to see. And he's so good in the pass game. We're going to use him in the regular season, folks. I've been saying this. This guy is special. Well, he's a rookie. And last year we had rookie Sam Laporta, right? We had rookie Jahmyr Gibbs. We had rookie, who? Brian Branch, Jack Campbell. All rookies. They played. Say, oh, well, he's a 4th-round pick. Monroe St. Brown, 4th-round pick. Sione Vaki is a good player. He's special. I'm so happy we have him. And he's going to help out with the lack of depth at wide receiver. Just think about this. Think about this. Your 5 starting great offensive line. You have David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs. You can put David Montgomery in the backfield or Jahmyr Gibbs, whatever one. Or you want to put Montgomery in the back and you want to put Gibbs out. Sam Laporta, St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Khalif Raymond, Sione Vaki. You could mix him in. That is a scary, potent offense that teams are going to have to respect. That's absolutely ridiculous. It's going to be really, really fun to see, throughout this regular season. We're going to see, I don't know how much we're going to see him on Saturday. Why? This is preseason week 3. Why see Sione Vaki? I mean, give him a couple touches, I guess. But he's made this roster, and he's going to be a player, an impact player for the Lions. So, I've seen enough from him. Go ahead and put in Zonovan Knight. Go ahead and put in Jamar Jefferson. Go ahead and put in Jake Funk. We've seen enough from Vaki. I've seen enough from Montgomery, Vaki, Craig Reynolds, and Jahmyr Gibbs. I know what I got those guys, and it's good. With that said, folks, adios.